There we go. Hi everyone. Welcome back. Yeah, I have more cards to open, so I'm here again. What have we got today? We've got From the Vault Angels, which, for anyone who knows me and how I play, angels are a big thing to me. I run multiple angel decks, and they've kind of been my thing since I got into Magic. So yeah, we've got From the Vault Angels. We have four bundles, well, fat packs slash bundles, because two of them are quite old. We've got Born of the Gods, Journey into Nyx, Theros Beyond Death, and Modern Horizons 2. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start with From the Vault Angels, and then I think I'm going to go from oldest to newest with the bundles. So I'll start with Born of the Gods, then Journey into Nyx, then Theros Beyond Death, and then finally we'll finish off with Modern Horizons 2. So, thank you. If you can make it back at some point, that's cool. If not, I'm sure you'll be able to catch it on the vid later. So, let's get started. So, for anyone who doesn't know, the From the Vault series has now been discontinued and is now replaced with the Signature Spellbook. So the Signature Spellbook, Jace, Chandra, and Gideon. Yeah, so basically they were collections of cards based on a theme. So there was angels, dragons, annihilation, lands. There was even one for banned cards. But for whatever reason they decided that they weren't doing it and they changed it. Yeah, you get, let's get this out and we can take a proper look at it. So yeah, so you get a spin down dice with each From the Vault has its own symbol. And you get a spin down with the symbol. You get a big ass poster, which I'm not going to show on that camera, I will show on this one. Which also has, I don't know whether anyone can see, but it has a bit of blurb on the back about the different cards that you get. And then you get the cards themselves. Now, as you can see, these are quite bent. Although the other two packs don't seem quite as bad as the front pack. But that is a risk you take with foils, and these being, I think it was 2016, 2015, 2016, so they're 5-6 years old. It does make for problematic bending with foils. It's nothing that can't be fixed by putting them under a heavy book, but still. So, here we go. So we have Avacyn, Angel of Hope, who, if anyone doesn't know, trying to get her on her own is like a £40 card, which was part of the reason I decided to get this set. So the foiling is really nice on these. They are very, very shiny. Picked up two there by accident. So we've got the Exalted. I've not got a card press, no. Generally like a heavy book will do it, which I have plenty of those. Nice Iridescent Angel. they come in 3 packs of 5. And yeah, the From the Vault series and the signature spell books are all specific cards, so there's no variety in them. You know what you're getting when you go into them. Which is kind of both a good thing and a bad thing. Like, I do like opening packs for the randomness, but when it comes to if I'm after specific cards, I do quite like the fact that you can go, oh, it's in this, and I guaranteed to get it. So Iona, I think, is one of the... There's 5 cards in here that have special artwork that they don't have normally, and I feel like Iona is one of them because I don't recognise the artwork on her. Obviously, banned in Commander for fairly obvious reasons. Nice Lightning Angel. One of my all-time favourites, the Platinum Angel. I've actually got a playset of these from Darksteel. It's Mirrodin or Darksteel, whichever one they were in already. So this one is going to be spare, but it's pretty, so... Sarah Angel is one of the ones that has the exclusive art to the From the Vault series. Apparently it was, or a version of it was from a Sarah Angel comic book that was originally done. And obviously, Tariel here is the one off the big poster from the pack. Perhaps not the one I'd have chosen for the poster artwork, but, you know. I suppose it's, if you're going strictly off what biblical angels are like, it is a bit closer than, the rest of them. So this Achroma artwork is another one that is exclusive to From the Vault. It's quite pretty. Yeah, both the Achromas have specialist art for this. They're very glossy, these cards. I do like the way they're foiled, but it does make them very shiny and glossy. Which I don't think is necessarily a bad thing, but... So those are the From the Vault. Let's pop them back in the box for now, and I'll decide where exactly they're living in a little while. So, with the known quantities out of the way, let's move on to the bundles. That's a good question. Maybe they will. Who knows? So yes, here's Born of the Gods. So, the Born of the Gods and Journey into Nyx are the old fat packs, as opposed to the newer bundles. So they only have 9 booster packs in them, as opposed to the 10 of the new bundles. You get these nice little player's guides. If I can get it in a way that it's not just reflecting off the ring light. So these are just like a visual spoiler that tells you a bit about the set and then gives you pictures of all the cards that are in the set, which I quite like. I'm a little bit sad that they don't do these anymore, and I know it's available for free online, but still. I quite like the little booklets, I'll be honest. So you get 2 pop-out deck boxes. They're only the flimsiest of cardboard though, so they're not great, and they're not going to fit sleeved cards unless you've got those perfect fit ones, but even then it does mean you can only single sleeve as opposed to being able to double sleeve them, which is a bit of a shame, but still. So yes, we've got 9 packs, the land, and the dice. Part of the reason I like these fat packs, that could have gone wrong. Part of the reason I like the fat packs and the bundles is that you get these spin downs, which have your set symbol on them, which I've always been a fan of. And even when I sold my collection, the one thing I did keep was all my dice and books. I kept the novels as well. I don't think anyone needs to see me open the land pack, so I'll stick that to one side for now. But yes, so we've got 9 boosters. So let's get started. Let's go with that side. Sato Wayfinder. Again, kind of like last time, I'm not going to spend too much time on the commons. As well, they're nice. They're not really what anyone's here to see. Unravel the Aether. That's not bad. A god in the first pack. Karametra, god of the harvests. As long as your devotion to white and green is less than 7, isn't a creature. Whenever you cast a creature spell, you may search your library for a forest or plains card and put it onto the battlefield tapped. That's very rampy for your green decks. And then we have a foil Sartesian Starbreaker. And a land. That's not too bad. A god in pack 1. We'll go with that. Hopefully the luck continues. So again, similar to the Eldritch Moon packs I opened last time, this is a set that I wasn't around for the first time round because it was while I was taking a break from the game. I know a little bit about some of the cards. I do run some of the Theros Beyond Death, so I know a little bit of the story of it. Oh, another mythic. Flame Wreathed Phoenix. Flame, tribute 2. An opponent may place 2+1/+1 counters on it. Alright. The tribute wasn't paid, it gains haste. And when it dies... Ah, so... there is a good reason for them to put counters on it. So I'm a big fan of Theros as a plane, generally. Similar to the way I'm big on Kaldheim, and I'm sure actually when I manage to get a hold of some packs, I'll be quite fond of Amonkhet. Because I'm big into my mythology. So, Norse, Greek, Egyptian. So these sets that are basically just magicified versions of those mythologies do really kind of tick all my boxes. So I forgot, Whims of the Fates. Starting with you, each player separates all permanents he or she controls into 3 piles. Then each player chooses one of his or her piles at random and sacrifices those permanents. Ooh, that's a little bit mean. Charging Badger. I like it. Ornithage. Flying tribute to... When it enters the battlefield, if the tribute wasn't paid, put 2/1/1 white bird creatures into play. Thassa's rebuff. And Temple of Enlightenment. Enters tapped. Scry 1. Blue white. Nice dual land. You never really have too many of them. Obviously less exciting than the fetch lands in Modern Horizons 2, but you know, not every set can be filled with fetch lands or they wouldn't be worth anything. I've seen a couple of cards a couple of times. So who knows, maybe I'll try and make a Theros Pauper deck. Maybe. I do quite like Pauper, I like the idea of it. It also seems a little less cheesy than Vintage can be. Oh, Fated Return. Put target creature card from a graveyard onto the battlefield under your control. It gains indestructible. If it's your turn, scry 2. I mean, 7 mana's a lot to pay for that, but... as just a flat out pick a creature, put it back into play, that is not bad. Our second god card, Mogis, God of Slaughter. Indestructible. Devotion to black or red less than 7, pretty standard. At the beginning of each opponent's upkeep, deals 2 damage to that player, unless he or she sacrifices a creature. That isn't bad at all. Then we've got a foil Siren Song Lyre. Not bad for just a tap target creature. Blades of the Underworld. Quite like that. Sorry. Hero's Podium. Each legendary creature you control gets +1/+1 for each other legendary creature you control. That's not bad. X tap, look at the top X cards of your library. Reveal a legendary creature card from among them and put that into your hand. Put the rest on the bottom of your library in a random order. That's very good if you're playing a lot of legendary creatures in your deck. That if you're playing modern, I guess, that would pair quite well with what's she called? It's one of the gods from Kaldheim, the god of like companionship or something. The one who's interested in you having other legendary creatures in play. Hi, Ilaria. Mind Reaver. Heroic. Whenever you cast a spell that targets Mind Reaver, exile the top 3 cards of target player's library. Ouch. And you can sack him to counter a spell that has the same name as something he's exiled. That's, yeah, that's a bit mean. I'm not complaining, it's good, but... if there's one thing that anyone who plays against me learns, I really hate blue control. Control and Mill are my 2 least favourite decks to play against, so that card is basically both of them all in one card, and I hate it. I did almost try and lay my hands on an original Theros bundle to open today as well. But I figured opening 5 bundles would be a little bit much. Spirit of the Labyrinth, enchantment creature. Each player can't draw more than 1 card each turn. Simple but effective. So, that's all the cards from Born of the Gods. So, let's move on to Journey into Nyx. A second fat pack as opposed to a bundle. So again, this only has 9 boosters as opposed to the 10 that a modern bundle would have. Again, we get the nice little player's guide with a bit of lore and all the cards in the set. Two entirely useless deck boxes. our set dice. And again, I'm not going to do the land pack because nobody needs to see that. Hey, Danny. Yeah, Danny, behold the glory of your lights. Thank you for the gift. So I think I've done these in the right order. I'm sure Born of the Gods was the second in the block, back when they had blocks. And then Journey into Nyx is the final. Which I think means it's the smaller set, 'cause I think they were still doing the big small back then, where your first one, so in this case Theros, would have been a 300 and something card set, 320 I think, and then your two follow-up sets are smaller, usually like 150-ish cards. So we've got an Eidolon of the Great Revel. Whenever a player casts a spell with converted mana cost 3 or less, it deals 2 damage to that player. One way of punishing White Weenie. Which greatly saddens me, because one of the decks I play is a White Weenie deck. From the ones I've looked through, the artwork in this set is really nice. Well, the artwork in this block. Again, maybe that's my propensity for the Greek-inspired stuff. But Squelching Leeches, that sounds disgusting. Master of the Feast. Enchantment creature demon, flying at the beginning of your upkeep. Each opponent draws a card. I mean, I suppose it is a 5/5 for 3, so they have to give it a drawback of some kind. I think Kat's still here. You played during Theros, didn't you? What are your thoughts on the set? That's a lot of words. We'll read that later. Another Eidolon. I quite like these Eidolons. Dictate of Karametra. Flash. Whenever a player taps a land for mana, that player adds 1 mana of his or add mana to his or mana pool. What? Of any type that land could produce. Whenever a player taps a land for mana, that player adds 1 mana to his mana. So it basically does double your mana? I think. Not quite sure. I do find occasionally there are cards like that where I read them and I kind of go, Eh? The one thing I will say about this Greek-inspired set is there's a tragic lack of angels. Theros Band War Chief, Vigilance Trample. Other centaurs you can get +1/+1 and Vigilance and Trample. Centaur Lord. Anyone playing Centaur Tribal? And a foil Rotted Hulk. That artwork is quite nice. I suppose the thing with the smaller sets was at least you had a lot more consistency in terms of what you got in packs. Like I've seen quite a few of the Acroan Mastiffs, a few of the Hubris. So it made it easier to get those play sets of the cards. Daring Thief. Inspired, whenever it becomes untapped, you may exchange control of target non-land permanent you control and target permanent opponent controls that shares a card type with it. Ooh, that's a bit mean. I always get the fear when I'm playing an oh, that's good to hear. Glad you got your desk sorted. Yeah, I always get the fear when I'm playing and someone plays cards that steal creatures. The one I tend to come up against a lot in Arena is the Piper. One that creates rats and then you sack rats to steal things. We pulled a couple of gods from the Born of the Gods box. Nothing wildly spectacular from Journey into Nyx so far. But we're only... oh, we're 5 packs in. This is pack number 5. Revel of the Fallen God. Put 4/2/2 red and green Satyr creature tokens onto the battlefield with haste. Yeah. A token generation. And a foil Oakheart Dryad. Again, it's quite pretty. 1 land, 1 token. I am a fan of them. I'm not quite sure at what point they decided to do it, but at the point where they decided to start putting creature tokens in the decks, in the boosters. Because I remember when I was originally playing, it was always a bit of a pain in the ass if you were generating tokens. Oh, Temple of Malady. Another dual land, enters tapped, scry 1. This is definitely a set where I'm kind of like, I don't know whether there's anything I should be specifically looking out for. Bearer of the Heavens. When it dies, destroy all permanents at the beginning of the next end step. 10/10 for 8. That's not too bad. Ooh. And a foil market festival. One mountain, one minotaur. There might be in some of the unsets. I don't know. I remember playing one of the unsets back when I was originally playing, but I honestly couldn't tell you any of the cards from it these days. But I know that's where the there was a Sword of Dungeons and Dragons card in one of them. So this is the last pack for Journey into Nyx. Dictate of the Twin Gods. Where have I heard that? I've heard of that card. Flash. If a source would deal damage to a permanent or a player, it deals double that damage to a permanent or player instead. Ah. There was a version of that back in like 8th edition. What was it called? Like lightning coils or something. Lightning something. Anyway. And a foil Ajani's Presence. So that's Journey into Nyx done. Overall, less exciting than the Born of the Gods. Mainly because we got some gods in Born of the Gods. So, now we move on to Theros, Beyond Death. That way even. Now this, as a set, I am a little more familiar with. Since it is currently in Standard, and therefore I have actually played a bit of it on Arena. So for these newer, for the bundles as opposed to the fat packs, they got rid of the player's guide, and you get a little, almost like info sheet. You still get the quite nice little box to store your cards in, which I do quite like, which is also why I keep buying bundles, because it's always handy to have these little boxes. Ten booster packs. One oversized D20 spin down life counter. We don't need the help cards. And you also get one foil in your land pack, which is your promo card. So this one is Arasta of the Endless Web. A card I am rather familiar with, who is quite annoying. But hey. So, let's move these over there. So this is a lot more of a recent set than Journey into Nyx and Born of the Gods. So far I have 2 of the gods from Theros Beyond Death. I have Heliod, the Sun Crowned, and I have Erebos. I can't think what his epithet is. But I have him. I have the white one and the black one. Valence Tactics. The first Rowan Games. Create a 1/1 human soldier creature token. Put 3+1/+1 counters on a creature you control. If you control a creature with power 4 or more, draw a card. Oh, draw 2 cards. And create a gold token. Quite a long saga. Don't see many that go on to 4 turns. They're usually kind of 2 or 3. I do like the sagas. They're a neat idea. One of the things that sort of coming back into the game after so long, I'm like, yeah, no, that's a really good shout. Altar of the Pantheon, obviously quite good for any decks that are heavy on devotion. There's an envelope. Temple of Abandon. The usual dual land of enters tapped, scry 1. I do like these land cards. I think if I get enough of them, one of my decks will have a full set of matching cards like that. Or maybe I just buy some online. I'm sure they don't go for that much. No, they don't go very plains. They don't look like very plainsy, but then again, neither does the mountain. But they're pretty nonetheless. And I'm all about those aesthetics. That's how I ended up getting into playing Angels initially. I got, I forget whether I got a Sustainer of the Realm or a Silver Seraph. It was one of the two. And it was a case of, ooh, that's pretty. I kind of want to build an Angel deck now. And that's how it started. Hero of the Winds, I know what you do because you're in the Elspeth deck, I think. Dalakos, Crafter of Wonders. Tap, add 2 colours, spend this mana to cast artifact spells or activate abilities of artifacts. 2/4 Merfolk for 3. Not amazing, not terrible. Very middle of the road for a legendary, but I suppose they can't all be super OP. Good luck, Scylla. Another dual land. Temple of the Plains, the standard stuff. Tapped and scry. I feel like at this rate I'm never going to be short of dual lands. Between them and the absolute stack of the bridges that I got from Modern Horizons. Which I'm probably going to get a bunch more. From the Modern Horizons stuff, yes. From this stuff, not really. I wouldn't mind a couple more of the gods from Theros. Just because I think they're quite cool. As for the Modern Horizons stuff, yes. Oh, there we go. There's one of the gods. Perforos, bronze-blooded. From Modern Horizons, I'd quite like Dakon, if I can get him. If not, just one of the Planeswalkers would be nice, because I'm kind of just missing the Planeswalkers and then a handful of rares, so things like the assembly worker, I can't remember what it's called. But yeah, there's a couple of rares and stuff that I'm missing, but I would really like to get one of the Planeswalkers. Oh, and the Sword of Hearth and Home. Really, a big part of the reason why I'm buying boosters at the moment is rebuilding a collection. Dryad of the Elysian Grove. You may play an additional land on your turns. Lands you control are every basic type, in addition to their other types. That's very nice. And a foil Nylia's Forerunner. So we've got 4 more packs of Theros. And then we're on to Modern Horizons 2. Onto the much more interesting, well, I say much more interesting, more relevant, let's say, stuff. Got a few Altar of the Pantheons now, so they're definitely going to be going in my Heliod deck, just to make sure that he doesn't end up not a creature most of the time. Calafi, Beloved of the Sea. Temple of Malice. Another tap and scry land. Let's have a look. Indomitable Will. Another Daxos. I do like these, the constellation artworks. I am kind of tempted to pick up the Secret Lair constellations on eBay. I've seen each, there's 5 volumes and each volume's going for 50 quid, so it might be, I buy one a month. Atreus, Oracle of Half-Truths. When he enters the battlefield, target opponent looks at the top 3 cards of your library and separates them into a face-down pile and a face-up pile. Put one pile into your hand and the other into your graveyard. I've come up against that a few times on Arena. Ooh. And a foil rare. An Eidolon of Obstruction. Loyalty abilities of Planeswalkers your opponent control cost one more to activate. That could be quite good for obstructing any Super Friends decks. I feel like one more isn't going to be a huge difference. I suppose if you could stack 2 or 3 of them, then it starts making it a little bit harder for your opponent. So yeah, Planeswalkers were I think I had to learn when I got back into the game, because they weren't a thing when I left. I think they first came in was it Alara or was it after Alara? It was certainly after I'd left the game. So my last set was Eventide. Whoa, Strider. And enters the battlefield, create a 0/1 white goat token. Sacrifice a creature to scry, and it can escape. Yeah, I like the idea of the Planeswalkers. Now that I get it, I will admit I was a little put off by them at first, because in a way I almost thought of them like they were Commander, but without knowing what Commander was. And I'd always done the thinking of, oh, you are the Planeswalker summoning these creatures. So to me, at first, having the Planeswalker in your deck seemed a bit almost going against that. But then when it was actually explained to me that no, it was more like these were your allies who you were asking to come and help you, which is why they have loyalty counters. Suddenly I was a little more on board with the idea. But yeah, they're definitely an interesting mechanic, and obviously there's a wide variety of power levels with them as well, which is nice, that they're not all mad powerful, because in the lore they sort of nerfed the Planeswalkers after the Mending in Dominaria, which I think kind of needed to be done if you were going to make them game pieces that could actually be useful. Another Eidolon of Obstruction, so there's 2 of them to annoy enemy Planeswalkers. And a foil Sweet Oblivion. That is some vaguely unsettling artwork, I will admit. So, that is all the packs from Theros. We're now coming right up to date with, if I put it the right way, Modern Horizons 2. So again, we've got the little pamphlet. This one I do think is quite cute, I'll be honest, because it is Squirrels of the Multiverse, telling you a little bit about the different squirrel cards over the years. Which I can go along with that because squirrels. This one. Yeah. So it's, let me move that a bit more into the middle. It's got, all 5 mana symbols on it. And it's very pretty. Oh, that is a really pretty dice. There's purple and turquoise dice, 2 of my favourite colours, so that will see some use. Half of the land pack, other shiny half of the land pack with Yusri Fortune's Flame, our promo card, and our 10 booster packs. Yeah, it's really pretty, especially with the golden numbering on it. So, what are we hoping for from these? We are hoping for a Planeswalker, ideally Dakon, but we will take Grist or Dehada, I think she's called. We're looking for a Sword of Hearth and Home. Oh, and an Arid Mesa, the one fetch land we didn't get in the booster box. Fairgrounds Patrol. Literally drowning in outbound Shikaris. Greed. And another Asmarana Marika Diced Kuldakar. I have been practicing that. If you couldn't tell. I don't know, I'm kind of tempted to build a deck around her in the Underworld Cookbook. You know, a food generation deck. Just because, her ability's quite powerful, but generating food tokens isn't super easy, so there's only a handful of cards that really assist with it. Power Depot, Violin Tumor, and I sketch Shikari. Yeah, I'm still going to go on about the sketch cards because I really do like them, and I like the style. Okay, that is a retro frame Scalding Tarn. That's like, I think they're still about 22, 23 quid each. And a foil Bone Shredder. Thanks for hanging around, Dean. Good luck with the desk. So I checked after the last stream how I was doing for the set Modern Horizons 2, and I was at about 70%, so hopefully I can pick up a few more. Ooh, so we've got 2 rares here. We've got Vindicate and Moderation, and a foil Tavern Scoundrel. So the prices for Modern Horizons 2 were a little bit ridiculous prior to launch. They are starting to stable out now. It's still quite a value set though in terms of if you were buying for investment. obviously don't if you're buying booster packs. You want to be doing it either like me because you're building a collection, or ideally you want to be drafting. If you go out there buying booster boxes, especially Modern Horizons 2 with them still being about 200 quid, if you're buying booster boxes for that kind, for, you know, trying to crack really rare cards, it's probably not going to happen, and you will eventually come away with less than you put in. Demo taxi. Like, I enjoy cracking packs, and I like having a big box of cards that I can build decks from. Because I will occasionally just be like, oh, you know, I fancy building a deck built around X or Y mechanic. And then I'll kind of sit there and go through my cards and put the bare bones of a deck together. And then I can sort of tweak it and buy singles for things that I need once I've kind of got the basis of the deck together. And the Thraben Watcher. Hey, Chatterfang, the Squirrel General, one of the ones that I was missing. Forest Walk. If one or more tokens would be created under your control, these tokens plus that many 1/1 green squirrel token creatures are created instead. Black, sacrifice X squirrels, target creature gets plus X minus X until the end of the turn. Nice legendary squirrel. Here's one of the cards I was missing from the first opening, so I am happy about that. I think I pretty much have all the commons, and I think there might be one or two uncommons I'm missing, but there's certainly not many. Rashidun Dockhand. Again, one of the rares I was missing. Did Island Walk and one and tap him to target land. I don't know much about Merfolk Tribal. I know some people seem to think it's quite irritating. So I am missing the Merfolk God as well, Svalon of the Sea and Sky. So I suppose if I get that, it fills out a slot in my binder. Suspend. Exile target creature and put 2 time counters on it. If it doesn't have suspend, it gains suspend. 1 blue mana to get rid of something for a couple of turns. That's not too bad. I feel like I was missing that one as well. Oh good, more Knighted Mers. I do quite like those, and I'm considering rebuilding my old Arcbound deck with some of the new ones and some of the Mers. Baloth, Zeranorb, Zabaz the Glimmerwasp, and a foil Mog Salvage. We've got 2 packs left. Can we get either a Planeswalker or the Sword? I doubt it, but we can always hope. Sketch Jade Avenger. Ooh. So we got Fire and Ice. Reprint from Macadian Masks. Oh no, not Macadian Masks. Apocalypse? I think. So deals 2 damage divided equally, or divided amongst you, choose up to 2 targets. Or tap target permanent and draw a card. We also got, oh, right, so we got 2 rares and a mythic in this pack. So we got an Unmarked Grave, search your library for a non-legendary card, put it into your graveyard, then shuffle. And we got a full art foil Thraster Tempest Roar. That is very nice. I definitely think I like that artwork a lot better than the standard artwork. And our final pack. So let's have a see. Glorious Enforcer. And Darthy Voidwalker. Again, one of the ones I was missing. So it's got Shadow. Can only be blocked or block creatures that have Shadow. If a card would be put into an opponent's graveyard from anywhere, instead exile it with a Void counter on it. Tap and sacrifice Darthy Voidwalker. Choose an exiled card an opponent owns with a Void counter on it. You may play it this turn without paying its mana cost. That's quite good. So what rares did we get from these? So we got the Darthy Voidwalker. We got Thraster. We got the Unmarked Grave. Fire and Ice. We got Zabaz the Glimmerwasp. You see, I made the mistake here of not putting them into piles by rarity again. We got Suspend. Shidden Deckhand, Dockhand, Deckhand, same difference. It's all just semantics. Got Chatterfang. Dermotaxi. Moderation. Vindicate. The retro border Scalding Tarn. And another Asmarana Mardukadiced in Kuldakar. So we may not have got the Sword of Hearth and Home, and we may not have got a Planeswalker, but that's not too bad. I will definitely take those because it fills in some spots on my binder. And things like the Retro Scalding Tarn and the Full Art Thraster are just quite nice cards to have. So that is it for my packs for tonight. I will be back here next Monday, same time, where we will have a Strixhaven booster box and one Strixhaven collector's booster. The collector's booster was a birthday present because it was my birthday this weekend. And the Strixhaven box, it's kind of my birthday present to me. That one I do have some hopes for, some very specific hopes, but we'll see whether I can get there. I'd like a Professor Onyx, and we'll see whether we can. Thank you guys for hanging out. I'll be here Saturday night. I will be doing some ladder climbing on Arena. And then next Monday will be the Strixhaven booster box. And I will see you then. Thank you guys. Bye.